Hello my fellow Vanguards of New Eden. So I've been trying out this new Dust 514 Mark II version on PC that's in testing at the moment. It's early doors, but the run and gun aspect feels really nice, and jumping around on your lonesome, however, is not a good time and will quickly lead to wanting to Alt F4. But if, like me, you haven't got any friends that want to play, you can easily just squad up with randoms and start awkwardly chatting and completing objectives way more easily, and also kill others and get revived by them if needed. This is quite exciting for me because I was a big Dust 514 fanboy, and having an FPS game set within EvE that I could jump into to enjoy was great, and it seems like we're going to finally get another go at it. So I think it's got to be stated again that it is early doors, and that we're kind of at a pre-alpha test, and I've seen a few complaints about the game online which, although valid, don't really factor in that this at the moment could barely even be called a game. It's just a test at the moment. Firstly, so that they can test mechanics and servers and how it's coming together, but also give us a taste of the direction that CCP are wanting to go in, and also for us to give feedback and spitball ideas. One complaint I've seen a few times mentioned is how when you join a game and you just keep dying to other players that come up and kill you, this kind of action will immediately put people off. And it is going to be a PvEVP extraction shooter after all, and let's take EVE Online for example. We don't toss players into nullsec off the bat, but maybe, as in EVE Online, we could introduce kind of a high sec area, even sort of a low sec and then no sec maps. And obviously the loot could be varied in these maps just like it is in EVE. One thing that threw me a little bit is that obviously we're all Vanguards, and EVE has a rich history and lore within its factions, and EVE Online players have an odd sense of loyalty towards their chosen race. I feel like Vanguard is missing a trick here by not having the chosen faction, or at least being able to align yourself with one off the bat. I'm hoping that this definitely is going to be in their roadmap. And when I started playing EVE all them years ago, I randomly selected Minmatar, and I've grown to love that. Although all I want in a shooter spawning from EVE Online is to wear Minmatar gear and shoot Minmatar guns. We do have a Minmatar shotgun, which is pretty cool I guess, but I expect that I just want the four main factions of EVE really shoved down our gullets to sort of cement ourselves firmly within the EVE universe. It is an extraction shooter, which I think is good, and I enjoy this style of game and looking forward to how it will evolve. I can see myself in a small team jumping into a map, hunting down objectives, fighting mini bosses, coming across other players, gearing up and then extracting with some sort of epic loot. But I also feel that we need to show some focus in other game modes down the line. One I feel that could really tie in with EVE is obviously faction warfare. Imagine being able to pick your chosen faction to fight for, then enter battles in a more sort of Dust 514 or Battlefield style fights that you could influence the capturing of the systems within faction warfare space. Just as you capture complexes in EVE system that affect the percentage that you go towards, you could also fight in Vanguard that would also affect it. Both games working together to capture systems. Imagine if you could capture a planet on Vanguard and then a space in EVE, and this would have a large positive effect for your faction within that system. I want to see all-out warfare on maps with two sides duking it out with all sorts of tanks and planes and cloaking devices and snipers, burning through clones but also making ISK in the process. Then on the EVE side, an effort taking place to capture complexes and help swing the system capture mechanic. I think I heard somewhere that they are planning on having suit fittings in the same style of EVE ships, which would be great. Being able to fit out your suit for different activities like sniping or running in like a nutter with a shotgun would make the game so much more diverse. They obviously had this in Dust and it worked really well, and I always thought it could have gone a lot further with module slots and implants and even taking drugs. I mean, surely we must be able to get smacked out of our head, sip on a can of quaif and hit the battlefield like some tweaked out freak from Apocalypse Now. I could address a few things like how it's not obvious what you take into the field you lose if you die, or how manufacturing stuff doesn't show many items that you're missing, or where to get these items aren't very clear. But this is early doors and the UI will be tweaked and updated as they go through the development process. I feel the most sort of valuable feedback I can give is what I've mentioned about different security statuses for planets for new bros, so you just don't get ganked repeatedly, and also tying in the game mode with faction warfare and EvE in that sort of 16v16 player battles, duking it out. But what I'm really trying to say is don't sort of write this game off straight away based off what we have now. See its potential, give constructive criticism on the Reddit and forums, and help shape it into a bit of a gem. This could help to pull new players into EvE as well, and keep the EvE universe going for years to come. I know it feels like CCP are chucking money at projects outside of EvE Online all the time, but let's give this one a go. I will be honest and say that I've only recently come back to EvE after a long break. Does that mean that I've lost EvE now that I've come back again? But anyway, Vanguard was one of those reasons that I came back. Hopefully more will follow. I've been Ali Rio. You stayed listening to the end of this video, and if you want to give it a like or a subscribe, that'll be great. But till the next time, take it easy.